really feel like you're working for your team, you know, and
Yeah.
not just yourself. Like there's so much power in that. So you know, whether you're like growing or building your own team or leaning into, you know, our big dynasty team, it's like, if you can lean in and remind yourself that like you're showing up for other people, just like we do, you know, like in our challenge groups or on social media, and we're trying to get people to join us, I'm quickly finding that there's so much power in that. And the hustle I feel like we always talk about like how your joy has to meet your hustle, or you're not going to grow a business because you'll either get burnout from the hustle or you'll play around in the joy so much that you have no hustle. And I feel like if you can like, one thing that's really helped to me is like reminding myself that like I'm not only showing up for myself, but my team, and my hustle impacts my team. I don't know, it makes me show up in a whole different way, and it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I've been digging in, just really looking at the people that I look up to during this time in the, let's say, personal development world, which would be like Brendan Bouchard, John C. Maxwell. And it was kind of weird at the beginning. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, and then I'm just reminded I'm just supposed to do what we always do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then, you know, that was just a kind of a reminder. And I got in this weird space, just so I can be vulnerable with you guys, where I was like, I guess a little bit fearful of like talking about the coach opportunity or asking people to spend money when they might be fearful of their jobs and all of that. And then I see Whitney on here with Travis there on a walk right now, but I was like, wait a minute, like Whitney's in her first month of coaching. This was in the very beginning. And I was like, she's at Success Club 6. Like she has sold 3 challenge packs and she's transitioning them over to coaches now in this month of where I'm like, should I be offering the challenge pack right now? And it was like, so Whitney and Trav, you guys were like an inspiration to me to be like, no, like just do what you always do and offer people the best solution, which is what we should always do. So, and then I was like, one of the other things was I realized that I need to be just as a leader. And this is what I'm going to invite each of you guys to do because you guys bring a light. Like I see Gio on here, Naomi, I see Juliana. I was like, it was I think it was John C. Maxwell just saying, you need to be more visible in times like this. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a video like every day and just show that we're here and be that light to people. So that's what we've gone through. And then the crazy thing that I want to share, I know Tate's not on right now, but give you guys an example. Tate Cox, he just hit his 12th month of Success Club 10. So he's a Success Club 10 All-Star is what you call that. But last month in March was his best month. Like it was his second best month with Success Club 17. And then his wife was at Success Club 10 for the first time. But I want to share with you why I think he is at that place. And it was their team's best month ever for recruiting coaches. So not just him, but his coaches. Like I know he had one of his girls, Charlie, hit Success Club 10. He had one of his guys, Alan, sign up 2 coaches like in the last couple of days of the month. But the reason is because Tate like made a decision about the 10 rounds program. Like if you guys remember, we did a team call like a month ago. Tate said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to not wait for the customer window of 10 rounds. And I'm going to recruit right now and promote. I'm going to buy 10 rounds. I'm going to work on the 10 rounds program. And I'm going to invite people to do it with me as a coach and show them the options of that. So it's no surprise to see that his team recruited 10 coaches during the month of March because he came up with a plan. He didn't just say like, I'm going to go into March and just do the bare minimum of Success Club 5. He said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take advantage of this launch and do the best I can. So I just want to share that about Tate. I also want to share, like, we had one of our best months as well at Success Club 20. And then Gabby, we fell short. She was at Success Club 3. But, like, that was one of the better months as well because we just stayed the course. Just showed up every single day. Even though the schedules all changed, like the 5 kids are, like, we still don't even know what we're doing for homeschooling yet because they're supposed to send out a link by Sunday for us to know what to do. So we're just, like, winging it with the kids, like, just coming up with our own schedule and doing like reflex math online and all these different things. And my time to do work is cut short because each kid needs to do math on my computer. Like we ordered a new MacBook this week. It's because we're like struggling the kids are doing their workouts, like doing morning meltdown 100 and they need to use the laptop for this. So I'm like, wait, I got to do work. They come in here asking for my laptop. So we're just adjusting and doing the best we can. But one of the things before I I talk with Naomi and Juliana and Gio with you guys a little bit, is that what I want you guys to think about is we have been preparing for this, like for the past however many years each of you have been in here, like creating, like everybody's like having to learn this new online community and how to connect online, how to work online from home. And like, that's what we do. So you guys, what I want you guys to know is you guys have some value that you can add to the world. Like, you know how to work online with a computer. You know how to create Zoom meetings or be a part of a Zoom meeting to do this and that. So I want you guys to remember that you guys as coaches were built for this. So I don't want to just talk. Gio, I'm going to unmute you, my man. How are you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Scotty? I'm doing
Hey,
good, thank God.
what are you feeling? What are you doing? What are your plans? What can we help you with?
You know what? We've shared this before to where honestly I've been one to not just be consistent, and a lot of it has been because of my inconsistencies. And not too long ago, I just did a video on Facebook to where I was insecure, and I remember sharing it not too long ago with you, Scotty, the video that Barbie showed and did, and I shared it within the team page. And basically, she even had some insecurities herself. And I think a lot of the times, like yourself, Beth, or anyone who's in that top right now, think that we all struggle at some point. Even though you guys can be still at the very top, you still have those insecurities, you still have those fears, and it's okay to go through that. But at the same time, it's how you face them. You have two people in this world. You have the people that are going to be fearful, that are going to just not do anything and just wait and sit around, or you have the people who are going to be facing them fears, move forward, and even if it's okay to make the mistakes, you're going to still make the mistakes and continue moving forward, just like John C. Maxwell says. You got to learn from the failures. And what I've learned right now more so than ever is, to your point, it's true. We have that unique opportunity for people out there to do the workouts online, to reach out to the people. Right now, I've been just messaging people and just telling them, hey, I got these 10 free workouts because I want to be a service. Of course, it's great. Don't get me wrong. We got to make, the extra income because we all have to take care of our families. But at the same time, be the servant. Say, hey, I'm here for you. I understand how hard it is because I'm going through it too. And the entire world is going through it. So
Yeah.
I don't want to take much of the time because I want to, of course, because I love to talk. So I'll cut it short. But in reality, right now, more so than ever, we have something that is offered to anyone out there right now because they're at home. They can't go anywhere. So what a perfect opportunity. And there's so many workouts, including now more so with their kids, to show and be the example for your kids. So of course I can go into more into, but like I said, I'll stop.
I love that. Thank you, Gio. One thing I want you guys to
You're
think
welcome.
about is just something I learned very early on in my business, thanks to great mentors, was that you have to be a long-term thinker in this business. Like some of you guys might not know this, but like when I started my journey, to show you how long, like I know when you start as a coach, like I know Whitney and Travis just started. They hit Success Club in their first month, right? But for some people that doesn't happen, even though they try. And I'm a person that hit Success Club 10 in my first month, and now I've done it for 108 consecutive months without missing it. But I think the piece that people miss sometimes, or maybe I don't share enough, is I did P90X every single day while working a 12-hour job before I ever became a coach. Did P90X, talked about it on my Facebook page, and annoyed people at first. And when people were like, there were people who were like, hey, you look great. I see your new energy. I see that confidence. I want that. I was bold and fearless in saying, you got to do P90X. You got to do Insanity. And they did it, whether they got it off. I wasn't a coach, so I don't know if they got it off Craigslist. They burned it. I don't know how they got it, but they got it, and I supported them. So I was doing the work of a coach without ever getting paid for it. And then, so when I say long-term thinking, like the results that came later in 2011 when I became a coach, in 2012 and moving forward, always came from the work that I did prior. The service that I rendered, the commitment to my own health and fitness, the inviting somebody to do P90X with me or Insanity with me, not caring that I wasn't getting a commission for it or not, and serving like that. So what I want us to really think about during this COVID thing is like, yes, people are, here's the way that I'm looking at it. Like, yes, we're going to serve at the highest level. Like today, here's an idea just to share ideas that I've been doing. Like I've gathered the 10 sample workouts in the link, the Vimeo link for the 3 kids workouts. And like 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, I asked the principal of my kids' elementary school if I could put it in there in the PTO group. And she's like, yeah, that would be awesome. So that's in there. People have used it. Like parents of kids in my kids' school have used it. I reached out to the school, the district superintendent, and asked if he would share it, like if he did an email and stuff. I don't know what's happened with that yet, but I'm just being fearless in adding free value of helping people for free right now. And even today I was like, oh, and I did it in my church page. We have a group for our church. So all the members of our church. So I put it in there and people in our church are using it, and that's awesome. And then today I was like, oh, the stake, we have what's called the stake, where it's a bunch of churches in our community of our religion. And so today I put it in there for free. Like I'm just thinking of how to serve people at a higher level. And then on top of that, what I want you guys to know is like, there are people that are buying right now. Like Tate recruited 10 coaches last month. You know, I personally hit Success Club 20. Whitney hit Success Club in her first month. All of those things, right? So business is as normal right now, and people need what we have, like you just said, Gio. They need home fitness right now. They need accountability. They need community. So that's true. But what I want you guys to think about coming out of this, like I've talked to multiple coaches of mine and customers that are out of a job and looking at getting help, you know, from the government during this time, like unemployment. So many people might be going through a really difficult and struggling and trying time right now. They need you to be their friend and support them no matter what during that time. But what I want you to think about, like when we're talking about a long-term thinking, like we should be doing what we always should be doing about talking about the coach opportunity, not saying, hey, you're out of job, come work here. Like that's not how it's done. But these people are going to be thinking as they come out of this, I need to do something else. Like my job is not as certain as I thought it was. Like I need to, like I see what Gio's doing, or I see what Beth's doing with her passion with helping these women in these fitness groups. Maybe I should do something else. Because a lot of times I think in the past people have been like, I got to be a coach, or like, if I love my job, why should I be a coach? Like I already love my job. But they can look at this more so of like, I got to take care of my health. I got to become mentally strong, like by watching our examples. And I need to prepare myself for the future, like build a side business so that I have extra savings if something like this happens, or build an extra income so I have some money coming in if I were to lose my job or something like this were to happen again. So if we're thinking long-term, like we still need to just do what we always do of planting that seed right now and talking about those types of things and being courageous in that. That makes sense? Cool. So I know Naomi, I don't want to take too much time today. Me and the kids are going up to the cabin in just a little bit, so they want me to get packed up and get some stuff to go. I see Naomi and Juliana are on here also without their camera on. If you guys have any questions or want to share anything, just let me know. Just unmute yourself. But that's, unless you guys have questions, I just wanted to get together and see you guys for a few minutes. Do you, Beth, I'm going to unmute. I want to hear Mickey Mouse. Beth?
Okay, there you go.
Okay. I wanted to see, Beth, because you and your team are like rocking it. You're on fire. I mean, top 5 in the entire company. Like,
Yeah.
if you could give some advice, because a lot of people watch this recording later as well.
Mm-hmm.
Even people, like I send these team call recordings as well to prospects. People are like, what is this coaching thing about?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you guys do? What would you say to anybody, to coaches that may be struggling or stuck or not quite sure what to do, or somebody that's thinking about doing this? What would be some advice?
Yeah, you know, I was thinking earlier, whenever I like abruptly hopped off, my phone died. So I had to come grab my laptop, and then my laptop was dead. But you were talking about, I had something that I wanted to like hop in and share.
Was it the kids taking my laptop or doing their homeschool?
No, you were talking about, I don't know, maybe it'll come to me. But what I feel like I've been really leaning into with my team is exactly what you just talked about, and kind of what Gio was talking about, with leaning into knowing that we can add value to other people's lives, especially right now, always, but especially right now. And then also leaning into knowing that long-term speaking, that value is going to pay off in our business at some point. I think it's so easy with coaching to because we do have benchmarks, right? If you have business goals, there's benchmarks that corporate sets for us, like Success Club 5, Success Club 10, the rank advancements. If you have income goals, like whatever your business goals kind of focus on or center around, it's so easy to me to, and I'm, guilty of it 3 years into this, to kind of lose sight of the steps that make Success Club 5 and 10 and Emerald and Diamond and all of those things happen, or a top 10 team, or whatever the case may be, in the sense of showing up every day, inviting people, connecting with people, adding value to people's lives, whether they join you right now or not, leaving them with some kind of value, whether it's the free sample workouts or the kid workouts or the recipes. And because we have these benchmarks, it's like we lose sight of those other things sometimes. And we find ourselves in a scramble to sign people up, or to, and if somebody's like, okay, well, I'm unsure about my job right now, yada, yada. It's like, we immediately are either okay, on to the next kind of situation. And then we lose that human piece, which I think is what it all kind of comes back to, is remembering that we as humans have a desire to feel connected to other people, right? And so really paying attention to knowing that, and leaning into knowing that the conversations you're having today are going to be your Success Club points in May and June and July. And I think the only way to be able to still hit the goals that you have for your business right now and in this month, but still stay laser focused on that long-term plan and goal, and the intent that you have with genuinely wanting to help people, is kind of where I'm seeing some of my coaches anyways kind of get lost in the scramble, right? It's the end of the month, I want to hit Success Club. Oh, but everybody's saying this and everybody's doing this. And I'm like, hey, stay focused on your purpose here, which is to serve other people and add value to other people's lives. And then watch that pay off, down the road, whether it's about the coaching opportunity or joining a challenge group. So all of that to say, long story long, my biggest piece of advice would be stay the course. Don't forget why you're a coach. Leave people with value, regardless of where they're at or what situation that they're navigating, and lean into knowing that the conversations you have today pay off later. It had something, what you said earlier had something to do with the staying the course thing. Oh, I know what it was. Staying the course.
I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I remember the whole time I was talking, my brain was Enneagram 3 over here. So staying the course. I feel like I have been preaching to my team. I think I even made a post about this last week, that, and I'm going to say this wrong, but where your focus goes, your energy flows, And here's the thing, everybody that you're talking to, everybody on social media, everybody that you know in real life, we're all navigating COVID-19, right? So instead of telling yourself I'm too scared to talk to people about the opportunity because of everything that's going on, or I don't want people to think that I'm being, well, here's the thing. If you're leading with your heart and you're genuinely wanting to share what we have to offer, coaching and challenge pack wise, challenge group wise, with other people, that's how it's going to come across, right? You're not, and I think my coaches struggled this month specifically with feeling weird talking about everything that they talked about last month, right? Because of what's going on right now. It's all the things that we did last month, now we suddenly feel weird talking about them because of what's going on. But if you just focus on, instead of feeling and of course, I know you guys know, I'm not saying don't be hypersensitive to the situations that people are in right now, but continue to lead with your heart and do the things that you did last month. And if you don't focus on, but what if they, but, then I feel for me anyways, it wasn't an energy suck for me this month because I wasn't focused on that. I have felt so fired up the past 2 weeks about helping more people than ever because of what's going on. And so, but I know that and I'm, I had my days, right, where things were weird and I was just in a funk. But if the days that I really leaned into knowing the power that we hold with being able to help people right now, those were my most successful days. Successful as in whether it was, coach signups or challenge pack sales, or just being able to go to bed at night and knowing that I met a lot of really cool people online and had lots of great conversations. And we had like 275 people in a free 2-week group on Facebook. Like, I don't even care who signs up from that. That is like, that's why we do this business. So yeah, I mean, where your focus goes, your energy flows. So just stay the course and stay consistent with what you're doing, and know that you have value to add to other people's lives too. That was real long. I'm sorry.
You must take after your upline coach.
I've been apologizing to my team all week because, like I said, I feel like this, I don't know, it's like a whole new level of responsibility to just like talk to more people, help more people, do more. And so, yeah, I've been super long-winded the past couple weeks.
Right. Hey, I'm like that as well. I made a goal like last year. I was like, people's attention spans are so short. I need to make my YouTube videos or my Instagram live videos like under 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last 3 were like 9 minutes long. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I better stop before this 10-minute mark hits. I'm the same way. I get excited about something. I just want to share.
Yeah.
I was reminded by Carl Deichler in the Roundtable. It's a group for 5-star diamonds and above, just this week, about my beginning. Like he called me out on something. He's like, Scotty, you used to, and it made me emotional. I was like, I tear up often, but anyway, he's like, you used to pull your car in front of your neighbor's house and use his Wi-Fi. Like he let you do it. Like he let you work from his office. But when he wasn't there, I would drive my car 3 doors down into his driveway, sit with my laptop in the car and work, because I didn't have internet when I first started my Beachbody business. And it really made me think back, like, what would my life be like today? Like, had I not gone all in with this? Like all in, meaning work hard on my transformation, read all the personal development books, reach out to people, build these relationships, build the skills, like fall in love with the process of building the skills it takes to be a great coach, overcome all the fears and insecurities of what people would think about me, my shyness, my introvertness, however you word that. And I really thought, like, what would life be like today? Maybe we wouldn't have 5 kids, but even if we had two or 3 kids, our first 3, and we were at a point like this, in my 12-hour days at my job and my wife's job were just shut down. Like, what would it be like? Like I can't imagine it right now. And it reminds me of this gift of Team Beachbody. Like what Beth was saying, like, this is a gift, like that I can wake up and like, just to like paint a bigger picture, I have 3 full-time employees. Like, and that's like my mom, that's one of my good friends that lives in California. And they, like, I don't have to tell them, like, you don't have a job for the next who knows long. Like, I'm able to still pay them and help them pay their bills while doing that for ourselves. And I feel so blessed for that. And it's because of this opportunity. So it's like, why would I not tell people about this opportunity to where they can wake up and not be fearful of where their next paycheck's going to come from, where we can be out there saying, like, who needs a meal? Like, who needs something that we can help provide you guys with during a time like this? And I know it's like one of those things where you don't like do service and talk about it, but I have to talk about this one because it's my kids that came up with the idea. Just 3 days ago, I was running to the store to get celery and carrots for my juicing. And they're sitting in the car. I go in, before I go in, and they're like, we have missionaries for our church, and they serve all over the world. But in our church, they assign families to feed these missionaries. So every day, these missionaries get a dinner in a home of one of the members of the church. Now, with everything that's going on, the missionaries can't leave. They're trying to do all their teaching online with Zoom and getting people to set up appointments for them. And they're no longer able to go to members' homes to eat. And I was a missionary once in Venezuela, and you have a very small budget for your own food, like to buy your deodorant, your soap, your toilet paper, and some stuff to eat for breakfast and lunch. And so I was just telling we were just talking about the kids, because they're like, why didn't we feed the missionaries on Sunday? Because they were supposed to come over. And I told them, and they're like, one of them's like, Dad, why don't you buy them some chicken? Because there's like hot chicken at the grocery store. And I was like, sure. And the other kid's like, why don't you just buy all their groceries? And I was like, you want to do that? And they're like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, what budget do you want? And they named a budget. And I was like, what should we get them? And they made a little list in the car. And I went into the store, we got it, and they took all these grocery bags, and we went and knocked on their door and delivered it to them. And it was the coolest thing because like the one that we work with, his like tears were streaming down his face. It's like a 19-year-old kid living away from his family, you know? But I think the bigger thing was later my 4-year-old that you guys see running here once in a while brought me a picture. You know how 4-year-olds draw if you have kids. I know, Beth, you're not that old yet, but the drawings are not the best. But my son brought in this picture and I was like, what's that? And it was like red and green and like spiky hair. And he's like, it's the missionary. And he's like, look at his little tear. And he had drawn a little red tear below his eye. And he's like, it's when we brought them food. And I share that story because like had I not gone all leaned in with this during when times were hard for me in the very beginning with a 12-hour workday, no internet, like I would be in a place where I'm wondering if we're going to be able to pay for the groceries or be able to get gas in our car, or how are we going to make the mortgage payment, to a place of where we can be providing for 3 employees, providing them a full-time income, and also being able to serve other people in a time when it's difficult and challenging like this. And I feel grateful for that. So I want you guys to know that this opportunity is amazing and we should be sharing that with others. I'm windy. Look, Beth, I told that 2-minute story in like 10 minutes. I'll let all of you guys go. It's good to see your faces. And Whitney, I know Whitney and Travis, we talked a little bit earlier. Shoot me a text and we'll plan a time to look at your volume and I can explain that stuff to you guys by doing a screen share. So, all right. Thanks, Beth, for hopping on with little Tilly, and we'll see you guys in the team page.
Bye, guys.
Bye.